The way people treat you is not random. It's a mirror of what you believe about yourself. And this belief has a name. It's called self concept. So let's dive into this a little bit. We have all been there. We have spent years of our life trying to change situations, to kind of fix our life by trying to change our outside, to trying to change the 3D. We try to change our jobs, our relationships with people, how someone treats you. And sometimes it doesn't really change or it just gets worse. And this is because we are trying to change the reflection and not trying to change the source of all of this, which is us. So for anyone new to all these teachings, self concept is just the degree of confidence you have in yourself, or you can say it's the concept of self. How do you see yourself? This includes not just yourself, but also how you see other people, how you see your relationships with them, your assumptions about them, and about things like your job, concepts of money, and for anything else you can think about. You always have a concept about everything in your life. And that's basically self concept in a nutshell. So, why does this matter? It matters because we are all one consciousness, one source. Your true self, its natural state isn't one of fear or lack, but it's of love and fulfillment. And this is what we're trying to return to or build confidence in when we're trying to improve our self concept, to realize the fact that we are the source, we are the creator, and we're already whole and complete. And this is what we need to realize. You must have heard the phrase, everyone is you pushed out. It just basically means that everybody is just a mirror of your inner states of being. Everyone outside of you, they're just playing a role you assigned them. They have to fulfill the way that you see them, the role that you have assigned to them, they have to fulfill it. It's because the 3D is just reflecting you. And this is not just metaphorical, it's the actual mechanic of the law. This is how it works. Everything reflects you, everything is playing out the roles you assign to them. So you can do this right now. Ask yourself these two questions. Where is my self concept right now? What assumptions have I been holding about myself and about others? For example, when you accept that it's safe for you to be your authentic self, the world reflects back to you full acceptance and love because that's the state you're occupying, a state of feeling safe, a state of feeling accepted, and the world has no choice to reflect that state to you. And this is not just luck. People might say that, yeah, you started thinking positively and that's why you see these things. It's not that. It's because you changed internally and the world has to reflect that. And the same with people and your relationship with anything else. You start occupying a state or you start seeing them differently. You start seeing them the way you want them to be instead of occupying the story that you've been telling about them or the story you've been telling about money or jobs or whatever other situations in your life. When you start telling yourself a different story, the 3D has to kind of reflect that to you. But the catch is, it has to feel natural to you. You can't just go saying it once or twice and then expect an immediate change because you've been in a different state for most of the time and now you're trying to change your states. So you have to be persistent in that new state and hold that state, stay in that new state of being until it becomes natural to you and then the 3D starts moving. Self concept isn't just about you. So here's what most people kind of miss. You can walk around with all self love. You can think really highly about yourself, but you can still hold beliefs about other people, like somebody doesn't treat you well, somebody doesn't respect you, somebody doesn't like you, or maybe you're in a relationship and you might think he or she doesn't love me or like me, doesn't appreciate me. So you can still feel a lot of love for yourself. You can still feel confident, happy, or whatever other things you want to think about yourself. But still, if you think that the other person doesn't see you that way, or if you think that the other person can't understand you, or they don't see you the way you see them, then that's the role that they're gonna play. That's because you gave them a different role now. You've given them the role that they don't understand you, they don't appreciate you, they don't see you, or they don't choose you. And then they have to go playing that role because it's the role that you assigned them. It's not their fault. They're just playing the state that you have fallen into. You have fallen into a state where they don't see you or appreciate you or respect you. And they have no choice but to play it out because everything is playing out in the 3D for you to experience. The 3D is just the experience of your internal states. The 3D is just there for you to experience whatever you feel inside. So if you feel inside that the other person doesn't see you or doesn't treat you the way you want them to treat you, then they're not going to treat you that way. So always keep this in mind. Self concept is not just about you, but it touches everything: jobs, relationships, people, money, work, and anything else you can imagine, and not just love. So, what can you do about this? The only thing you need to do is start telling a different story. Start having conversations that align with the way you want you to be and the way you want others to be, the way you want your circumstances to be. Start having inner conversations. Quietly, like remind yourself that you are loved, or you're chosen, you're respected, you're appreciated, and tell a different story about the people you want to see differently in your life. See them as loving and caring. See them as somebody who chooses you, who appreciates you, who respects you. And then they have to play that role. The same thing with money or a job or things like that. Tell yourself that you're qualified for any job. Anyone would love to work with you. Money comes to you easily. Tell yourself that you're always taken care of and supported, and whatever else you feel like, whatever else you want your self concept to be. The important thing is not just to kind of repeat this to yourself, but also try to feel in your body, or try to get into that state. How would it feel like? Just ask yourself, how would it feel like to be somebody who's confident? If you can imagine it, try to sit quietly. And when you say that, try to imagine it. How do you see yourself? Maybe people start treating you differently and you feel good. What emotions go with that? How do you feel when somebody treats you? Walk up to some people in a room and everybody's smiling at you and you feel really good about yourself. How does that feel? How does that feel in your body? You close your eyes and see how your heart is beating. Are you feeling calm or nervous? Yeah, if you're feeling nervous, imagine being calm. Yeah, imagine that, feel that in your body. So it's not just telling yourself something, it's also imagining it if you can. And then feeling the emotions, feeling feeling your body. How does your body feel? So you don't have to feel ecstatic or really happy. You can just feel neutral or just feel calm and relaxed. And so the important thing is it's not just repeating something, but it's trying to embody that state of the phrase or the affirmation you're saying. So try to kind of embody that state by aligning what you say, what you think, what you feel, how your body feels. So it's a whole system process. And the same thing when you're thinking about other people, think only the lovely versions of people. See them as kind and loving. See them as somebody who appreciates you, who loves you, or who respects you, or whatever you want them to be to you. How do you want them to treat you? And imagine those qualities in them. See them only that way. And if there is some old story about them that's hurt you or that's causing resentment, you have to kind of let that go. And I will link a video talking about that, about forgiveness, above somewhere here. but you have to let that version of them go because you can't hold anger, resentment, and then see them a different way because you can't be in two different states at the same time. So you have to forgive them. You have to let that go. You fell into some unlovely states and that had to reflect in a 3D for you to experience. And they were just the means for you to experience that. So now, when you change your state, when you start seeing them differently, when you start seeing them as somebody who's kind, who's warm, who's gentle, somebody who treats you with respect, with all the love in the world, or however you want them to see you, they're gonna change. You're not controlling them, you're only changing yourself, and they have to reflect that because if you change your internal state, then the 3D has to reflect that for you to experience that. So you're never controlling anybody. You're never controlling the 3D. You're not controlling anything in the outside, but you're trying to change your state of being. You're embodying the state of being where you feel that way, where you're treated that way, or you imagine yourself being treated that way. And you can do this not only with inner conversations, but you can also visualize. Visualize before you go to sleep. Visualize during the daytime or when you meditate, or if you don't meditate, just close your eyes and think or imagine for a moment how that would feel. Or you could affirm, but whenever you're affirming, you should always try to embody that feeling. And when I say feeling, it's not just feeling, it's how you think, how you feel, your emotions, how your body feels. It's the whole thing. You can also script. I find scripting is also a really good way to embody that state. And it's good to do all these different techniques. Yeah, you don't feel like you have to force one technique. You can do all these different techniques because in the end, the technique is not causing this change. It's you. You are the power that's changing or creating your reality. And these techniques are just a tool for you to embody the desired state. So use scripting also. Write down how you want to feel, how you want the other person to see you, to treat you. If it's a job or it's something about money, write down your ideal job. Write down how your colleagues treat you, how you feel at your new job, all the benefits it's giving you, the money you get. Write all that down. Write a story. Write how it makes you feel. Um, and the same with money as well. So you can do all these different techniques. So you can do any of the techniques you like. Try experimenting with the different ones. But yeah, just know that it's only a matter of practice and don't be too hard on yourselves. Just keep trying because when you put too much pressure on all of this, take it like an experiment and just practice different things. Figure out what's working for you, what's not working for you. So just remember that in the end, whatever you keep alive inside of you is what's going to be alive outside of you as well. Whatever you pay attention within is going to be reflected without or in the outside. So if you keep alive within you, for example, anger or resentment around something, someone, or you feel hopeless about a job or money, that if that's what you keep alive within you, that's going to be what's alive outside of you. That anger and resentment is going to be alive within that person. If you see a job as something unacquirable, it's something hard to get. If you feel desperation, if you feel hopeless, if that's what you're keeping alive within you, then the 3D is going to give you experiences to kind of prove that. To prove that jobs are hard for you to get. Jobs are hard for you to acquire. Jobs are not easy. You have to work hard for money. So be conscious, be aware of what you keep alive in you. So if you focus on keeping only the good things alive in your inner state of being, in your true self, in your awareness, then that's what's going to be reflected in the 3D. That's what you're going to get to experience. Because the outer world is not separate from you, it's an extension of you, it's a reflection of your inner state, it's a mirror. And when something outside of you is showing you something that you don't like, take it as information. It's just an invitation for you to look deeper inside of you to see what you need to change. What assumption do you have to change? What story are you telling? What story do you have to change about yourself, about the other person? So it's an invitation for change. I practice this myself and I've been practicing this for some time now. I've been telling myself I'm loved and cherished and appreciated and respected. And it does reflect in the 3D with the people I work with or the people I engage with. So, for example, so I noticed this once I started doing all these affirmations. So I go to these hobby groups, and an older guy, he just randomly said that, he has a lot of respect for me. There's no need for him to say that. And yeah, I was a bit surprised, but I take it because and I realized this later that it was my manifestation. It's I changed my state and it's reflected back to me in the 3D. And the same thing when I go for volleyball or other sports activities, the people there reflect my assumptions about myself. I tell myself I'm appreciated, I'm loved, I'm chosen, and people are much nicer, friendlier. You can start doing this for yourself and be aware of how your state of being is. Don't look outside for the science. Don't start doing all this and look outside and check, okay, why isn't it working or is it working? No, don't do that. Just focus on changing your inner state. Only check if your inner state is changing. And then naturally, you will start observing your 3D changing. And when the 3D changes, be sure to know that it's because you change your internal state. It also doesn't mean I'm like now perfect with my self concept. I've been practicing all of this and my self concept around love and relationships are one area I'm still working on, and I can see improvements within me. I'm seeing that also in the 3D, but not to the extent I really wanted. So I'm still working on it, and some days it's hard, but you have to keep returning to those states of fulfillment because in the end, if that's your desire, then you have to keep to it, even if it feels hard at certain times. Yeah, it's okay if it feels hard and just don't give any meaning to that day or meaning to that feeling. Just return to it. Keep returning to it. Take a break. Keep returning to it. Because I know for a fact that I don't want to experience a reality, but I'm not loved or not chosen. So the only way to change the outside, as you know, is to change within. So just to recap, your self concept is the degree of confidence you have in yourself. It's the concept you hold about yourself, and not just yourself, about other people, relationships, money, work, jobs, anything else you can think about. And your natural state of being, your true self, is a state of pure love. And in this true state, in the state of love, you're not lacking anything. You're whole, you're complete, you're okay. And I always go back to this Bible quote: perfect love casts out all fear. It's quickly becoming one of my favorite quotes. And I kind of return to that to remind myself that my true self is love. And in love, you're complete. And in love, you don't have to fear anything. And in love, you can cast out all fears, all anxiety, lack, or hopelessness because you're already whole and fulfilled. The second thing you need to kind of understand is that your world outside is not creating your reality. That is not the real reality. You are the creator, and your awareness is creating the reality for you. The reality you see outside is just a reflection of your inner states of being. The third thing you need to understand is that you're not controlling or changing anybody on the outside. You're not waiting for anybody to start loving you to feel loved. You're not waiting for anyone to respect you to feel respected. The work you're doing is always internal. You change first, you feel loved first, you feel chosen first, you feel respected first, and then the 3D reflects that for you to experience. So always ask yourself, where is my self concept at? What assumptions am I holding about myself, about other people, other things? So if any of this is stirring up something for you, if you're feeling like you can relate to this, especially around self concept and love, like it still does for me, I offer free 15 to 20 minutes clarity calls. It's a space to actually talk through where your self concept is right now. So I will put the link in the description below if you want to grab one. So thank you for being here. I love doing this work. I love it if I can help somebody. So yeah, stay true to your true self, and I will see you next time.